Hello everyone, welcome back to MoteMancer. Part 2 of my revisiting series, I guess. After playing it quite a bit several months ago. We're playing... I guess I could... How do I review, like, the game settings? Or the... I don't think I can. How could I see what my foundations are if I had forgotten? Maybe I can't. But we're playing, starting on the plane of water, with Elementalist... and so I can't use salt grippers or saltways. Nascent entropy, so rifts spawn even on my starting plane, and prism portals, so it's easier to move between planes when I feel like I want to. And in the first episode we got basic automation, still with a lot of hand feeding going on, enough to get started on early research of all three of my starting elements: water, life, and air. And I let the game run for like 5 minutes in between episodes, and that was enough to finish the three researches we were working on. So let's go ahead and unlock them. Zephyr Shift, I can point my grippers in the other direction. Biorhythm, it'll refill mana flares for me for free, or not for free, but like more automatically and simply. An underground stream, so I can finally cross. What if I let nature entangle and spread on its own? Good question. What the hell are you talking about, my man? Nature entangle and spread on its own. You told me that for unlocking underground stream? I don't really understand. It sounds more like biorhythm, but I don't think it... Oh no, it's untangling? I just said the word untangle. Okay, sure. Anyway, so we have biorhythm now. A little aura that you can kind of keep on, and for free it just refills nearby mana flares. So it'll simplify, although not eliminate, one of the chores that I still have during this time before I have finished automating. I have plenty of air already. Before I have finished automating setting up real power for all of my little factory bits. You, I guess, are telling me that you have run out of motes nearby? Well, fair enough. I mean, we're still pretty early on in the whole automation era. I don't, inventory is full. Yes, I know. Throw away motes of life. Everything is still pretty basic. The fact that this is getting even less throughput than it was before is not too material because it was getting terrible throughput anyway. So these researches are continuing. It's getting us leaves, which are life's intermediate reagent needed for the high-level life structures, and also a more efficient fuel for the fuel-based life power generator, which I may or may not get into. I mean, it takes forever to get solar power, doesn't it? Where even is it? Oh, there's all these... Okay, so what the heck? There's new stuff here. An overgrowth pillar. Grows life blooms on nearby mote of life fields. I don't know why I would want this. Okay, great. Well, I mean, I guess I'll research it at some point and see what the point of that is. Kudzu, that's new also. Increases the range. Oh, great, I can make my overgrowth pillars bigger. So these must be important. For some reason I don't yet understand. Grows life blooms. Aren't those the annoying little doodads that you just have to remove because they get in the way and don't do anything? Ah. They've improved mystical agriculture. So this used to be some like technology that having it made your life actively unpleasant. biorhythm causes life blooms to grow on nearby moat fields, which means, oh great, they just get in the way. Like, why would you ever want this? But it also adds a passive, which is that collectors can harvest nearby flora, which I assume means doodads of every type, not just the life ones. Probably. And so it's a buff then that says, oh, if you can get some flowers to hang out, your collectors will have a higher throughput, I assume. And so you can, instead of using just biorhythm, oh, your collectors, I guess when they harvest the moats, they're probably also destroying the flora, I assume? I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully. Probably. And this is at least appealing enough for me to try unlocking it and see how it works. Whereas the old one I just never unlocked because it was so obviously horrible. So this looks like it's kind of a way to increase the output of a moat field when combined with mystical agriculture. Okay. And this increases the range of that. Fine. Fertile ground, is this new also? Yep. Overgrowth pillars can grow flora on moat fields of any element. Yep. Okay. So that's making overgrowth pillars bigger. Sure. Okay, here's all the solar power. Mana leaf. So mana leaf just needs like prisms and leaves, basically. Okay. Now the thing is, mana leaf. So this is the solar power of the game, which is, I don't know. In my first game, I had a fun time setting up like leaf-based power and used it to power my factory for just long enough that by the time I had invented solar power and made it efficient enough, I had run out of moat fields in that I was using to make leaves. So it was a nice little reason to switch over. But we could plausibly just get here. Yeah, all you need to do is automate mana leaves, basically. Which, I mean, I'm sure they're expensive. I don't remember how you make them, but leaves and canopies is basically infinite power. It just makes so much power. It's a quadratic kind of thing where each canopy, like the amount of power you get is the number of canopies you have times the number of leaves you have in a network. And Daycaller lets you skip the night cycle if you haven't set up mana wells yet. But on the water plane, I imagine it can't be that hard to get primordial mana wells and mana pools. Where are mana pools? Should be, yeah, here. So they're power storage for the nighttime. And primordial mana wells are like multiplicative with mana wells, mana pools, in the same way that canopies are multiplicative with leaves. So when you have access to both life and water, you can produce an enormous amount of power during the day and save an enormous amount of power for use during the night. So I may very well not bother ever using a cultivator, even powered with leaves or otherwise. Just kind of power through until we get canopies. So, I mean, all that said, we're not researching anything right now. Great. Okay. Prisms. My inventory is full. I don't need to carry around slabs. Well, I guess I shouldn't just delete them, though. I should turn them into streamways, even if I'm doing it by hand. It's better than just throwing them away. This is where air was being researched, I think. And this was water. Okay, and they're just going to research in whatever order they want. I can't really help you. You also wanted water, but I just threw all of that. I mean, give me another chunk of streamways. I just spent all my water. Probably the mana flares up in my life mining outpost have they've probably dried up. But I'm not doing much with all the life, so it's not a big deal. When those run out, I can just go fill them back up at that point when I stop getting this stuff coming in. But, okay, so now with undergrounds, I can finally untangle all these streams. And I have deltas as well, don't I? Oh my goodness. So much to do. Yeah, deltas and undergrounds. So the thing is, though, of course, to make underground streamways, I have to make underground saltways. How do you even do that? Saltways and salt. Yeah. Boy, where's my whirling grippers? Or my whipping grippers, actually? They're some distance away, right? Yeah, I'd have to make air prisms and whirling grippers. Get automated whirling grippers, which I don't have yet. Because I was just thinking, if you could put a whirling gripper, which is like these, but at a distance 2, they have more range. So instead of this harvesting from this, or taking from this tile and this tile, it kind of would reach this tile and this tile. So if I had one of those, I could just put it right here to grab the saltways and the salt at the same time and dump them into a Streamweaver. Nope. A Tinker's Table to make underground saltways. But I guess the thing that made me say, look, I need some underground streamways is that I couldn't even automate pedestals because like all this stuff was too tangled up. And like if I could underground these, everything would be just much simpler, right? So I guess that's what I should do next. I think actually I used to have undergrounds on 3 or 4? I don't remember which. 2 seems like it would make some sense, but I think having grippers there is probably what I liked best. So let's... that's right. I put deltas on 3 and undergrounds on 4. Why don't I have any undergrounds? I do. It's right here. Great. So if I put an underground like here, now I can easily-ish get access to what are you doing here? Does anyone ever talk to you? You just suck? Yeah. You don't do anything. Okay. Well, that's kind of nice. I guess I can just tear that down. And that lets me reach the saltways to go down here and build. Well, I don't need... Even just getting the salt prisms would be what I would need for grippers, I guess, right? This is no longer connected to anything. I mean, what a mess. I was only here for an hour and a half, and I left a lifetime's worth of mess behind me. That's just how it is. I make so little. It's so slow. I need all this to scale up, obviously. What have you run out of? Stuff to do, or no? Prisms. Here. You've also run out of life here. I actually can't. I can't get this input anywhere with what I have set up because the grippers must touch. They must interact. These two are both supposed to be inputs to here. Speaking of which, enjoy some water. And so, like, a gripper can turn this corner. I could put a gripper here and, like, pull from this tile and put it here, for example. But to do that, I have to also pull from this tile. You can't avoid that, I think, with this setup. You know, I could have put all this stuff less close together, for example. But I didn't. What is all this shit down here, by the way? Spell function? Z. What do you mean, spell function? Okay, I see, I think. So, this... Oh, can you actually bind it? Can I say 9? It seems I put it here. It's not really what I wanted. I guess that is 9. I assume 9 would be over here, but that's 12. Okay, whatever. So, this is where... Tinker's tables were supposed to live. So Biorhythm has an optional feature, and I guess Z is what toggles it. It used to be Alt or something. Whatever it was horrible. I was toggling stuff accidentally all the time. I'm glad it's on Z now. But I did not get it from just the word spell function. Well, I guess I did. But I had to double check. Oh, it like shows a little pop-up here. That's cute, I guess. But, okay, so to make pedestals, though, I don't need the saltways. I just need... you. And finally, I can flip this gripper to address the problem. So now, this gripper has 1 input and 2 outputs, which we unlocked the ability to do that. Before, I could only take 2 inputs, but now I can take this input, send it here to be processed into slabs, saltways, but also here to be turned into, I guess, pedestals. So that's the idea here. Pedestals are just slabs and... no, they're prisms and ether, is that right? Prisms and salt! Okay. Just make like 5 underground streams, please. They're so expensive. That's fine. And make me like 10 deltas or something. So now, there we go. Now we finally have deltas. Does it want to go? It wants to go there. Okay, yeah. So these are kind of the hex version of Factorio's splitters, of course. I remember some people were asking for a way to have like the inverse of streamway deltas, and I thought Cyan actually added those, but I don't know where they would be. I don't need them right now. Tributary? Yes. So you can Shift F, which is something I just tried, but it didn't work. You have to unlock it. So you can have a clean merge of 3 lanes into 1, as opposed to having to rely on side loading. Time for more prisms. And more water, but like, get real, I'm busy making streamways. I don't have enough water in my life at all. Yeah. Okay. Maybe... maybe it's time for a slightly more mature automation pipeline for water, because you need so much of it. The problem is I don't have much space left in this area. But I can at least do this. And now we have a handful of collectors feeding water in. This... I still can't use both arms effectively because of this being convex. But it's fine, because one arm of a gripper is still enough to keep up with the production of one elemental binder. So this gripper being inefficient isn't the problem. The problem is that we just only have one of these. It's now at least it's working at full tilt now, and it wasn't before, and that's, you know, all you can really ask for. Looks like the life mines are dried up. As I predicted, this would happen eventually. I mean, it's not hard to predict, but the point is, it seemed silly to come up here and fix it until I was actually suffering from the symptoms. Again, since one arm of the gripper is enough, I don't have to worry about automating any of, or optimizing is the word I was looking for, any of that gripper setup. Okay, now this is all more or less doing its job. Picked up some elemental water so I could get the research going again. But, you know, I have 3 altars working on anything. If one research runs dry, they can just work on something else. It's fine. Right? That's the point of having the prisms shared by all 3, and each of the elemental pedestals shared by 2. Is that if one elemental runs out, that's fine. They'll just work on something else. Okay. So here I have salt and could have salt prisms, although I don't yet. Oh, no, I do. They're right here. That's right. All the streamways, please. I have learned Zephyr. No, Riptide. I don't know why I said the word Zephyr. So this is a water spell to temporarily remove some entropy, or, well, I guess to put it more, it is a spell that removes entropy in a cone. However, it does not address the source of the entropy, so as you can see, the entropy quickly comes back. Not as quickly as I would have thought, but it is sort of encroaching on me, and in a second it should be covering me, and we'll see that Riptide is not a sustainable approach to clearing out rifts. Okay, there we go. So now you can see it has indeed closed in on me, and eventually it'll get to this part as well. But Riptide is good for cleaning up when you have deleted a rift, which we don't yet have the technology to do, but in the future we will, and Riptide can kind of clean up any messy spots left behind. And we also, by doing that, we started... So how do you... Is it Y or something? Yeah. So there's a separate research tree for entropy-based stuff. And when you pick up... When you clear entropy, that is basically the equivalent of research points on that tree. Okay, there's Adept. So we can now make air prisms, which I assume are required for everything up here. And so even though like this is not a lasting solution to the entropy, and the entropy isn't causing me any problems, this is making progress towards unlocking entropy, to researching entropy-based technologies. And this is the reason why I put nascent entropy in the list of foundations, is that it gives you access to more entropy so that you can get access to the entropy tree. Now, there's enough entropy around the Great Portal that you could do this much without nascent entropy. But you can't get much further, I believe. So, yeah, they've changed how this looks since I was last here, but... so I don't even really remember what, like, it's all about. Oh, Echo Flare is here now. Okay, that's nice. I don't even have... Where is... where's all the Echo stuff? Echo Tracer. It's like on Shadow, isn't it? No, it was moved. It used to be here. Am I stupid? Where is it? Shear is a spell. Destroy a structure and its components, recycling it into your inventory. Okay, sure. Whatever. Oh, and you can change it between 100 or 0. So this is a way to actually destroy things and not get the raw ingredients back. That's kind of nice. Or to just recycle them if you want the ingredients back. So this is all... whatever. Mark returns. This is like a warp spell. What is Sinkhole? Icarus lets hold more items. Who cares? When shearing a slick or chest, shear linked slicks or chests. Oh, so you can clean up a whole giant pile of entropy if you want, of slicks if you want. Oh, and you can shear all. Oh, that's so nice. Void chests. Like, if you set up a bunch of things to... So void chests were a way to transport items a long distance instantaneously. You would set up, like, 2 void chests and they're at different locations, and their contents were shared, basically. So what you would do is you would set up a big mining operation, dumping salt, for example, into a void chest. And then anytime you needed salt, you could just plop down a void chest and get the salt out of it. And that's very convenient, but it left me with the problem of, well, what if I decide I don't want salt in void chests anymore? You can't just, like, set up another one and put ether in, because the inventory will be shared with the other one that has salt. You have to, like, find all the places you're putting salt into a void chest and destroy all of them. And shear solves this problem. That's nice. So if you decide you want to change what your void chests are doing, you can just destroy them all at once. Now that'll cause ripple effects throughout your factory, I assume. So I don't know, I guess it doesn't really solve the whole problem, but it solves some of it. Interesting. Umbral Waygate. So this is a way for the player to set up like teleportation hotspots around a single plane. That's cool. But I was looking for where all the echo tracing stuff is. Or, okay, just research, yes. I have leaves. I acknowledge leaves. Knock it off. Riptide also, there's like an upgrade that allows you to use it to pick up items off of streamways. I never found that particularly compelling. Okay, I have plenty of streamways. I don't have to keep ferrying water around here. But, so here it says, Mana Flares act as an Echo Tracer source. Where the hell is Echo Tracer? Oh, it's here? What? Why? I have to go this way. Why aren't these two nodes switched? I must be missing something, because this seems crazy. Oh, no? I thought maybe there were like several different... Because I know there, like, several of the elements were going to have a way to have... You make your mana flares do something special. At the time I last played, I believe only Earth actually had it really work. Well, like Earth, you could have... It would let your mana flares tell you where the nearest portal was. But there were plans to add it to like other elements, and you could place like a life-based flare to make a flare do something life, whatever, I don't know. And so I thought maybe like, oh, it's in the wrong quote order because like there's a bunch of things around here that are for changing what flares do, but no. Refractory is such a nice way if you... You have to have access to opposing motes, which you can't normally get on a single plane without either interplanar logistics or other stuff from the like this. So entropy has all kinds of tools. I believe the general idea is that this if you go south, you get to transmutation, ways to turn elements into other elements. You know, for example, this one lets you turn roots into firewires, into gust funnels, into roots, and so on. And there's a whole collection of these. Over in the west is like ways to make more entropy, and in the east is the ways to make less entropy, or something like that. I forget which is which. Yeah, on the right, it's the opposite. Rifts appear faster and you're better at harvesting them. On the left is like there are fewer rifts. And up here is mostly interplanar logistics, I think. Here's seismic flare. This used to be a thing on Earth. But they moved it to shadow, entropy, I guess. There's these planar reliquaries. You get 6 of them. Very cool. But we don't need to... Oh, more than 6, because they're also up here. You get what? 12? 11? 5... 11? Weird number, but okay. And then planar bridges to let you move items through portals or move power through portals. Okay. I think planar reliquaries are really cool. They're kind of this game's version of the logistics bots bringing... Not bringing items between... like structures, but topping up your inventory. You link each planar reliquary to a slot in your inventory, basically. Although I think it's not actually a slot, there's like separate slots up here. And so there's one chest on the whole plane that is linked to a spot that is basically in your inventory. And as long as you keep that topped up, it'll automatically fill up it'll automatically send you items wherever you are on the plane. I guess we ran out of prisms again while I was yammering. But I don't... Oh. So it doesn't tell me anything. I guess if I had the tutorial on, it probably would have, so that's fine, I guess. It's just a little weird that it says here, mana flares act as an Echo Tracer source, but where is Echo Tracer? It used to be in Shadow. And I mean, this is very nice. It's very helpful. Great. But it like is not that well explained. Fair enough, I'm on experimental, you know, whatever. But so blueprints are now a thing. Oh, and it saved the ones I had written for when I was playing around off camera, I guess. These are not like super optimized or anything. And I can't even place them now. I mean, I assume I could place it, but I can't fill it in. Because I don't own the right technology. Yeah. You can see there were supposed to be some collectors in here, but I guess I designed a little... I vaguely remember doing this. Because each element has its own shape of advanced collectors, which makes a different puzzle for how to cover a moat patch. Moat field. And so this was the one I designed for water, using water as collectors. And so you can't... Anyway, you can place on these... I don't remember... I remember being a little bit less smart than the way Factorio's manually placed blueprints worked. But it doesn't really matter because you don't manually place blueprints very much. The thing you want to do is get to... filling blueprints automatically, and that's what Echo Tracer is. Maybe Echo Tracer is a spell you get somewhere? I think that was how it originally started. You're empty again, huh? Sorry to hear that. But now maybe that entropy thing is the main way to do automatic placing blueprints. Oh, you died, huh? Okay. All right, so I haven't like done anything this whole episode, basically. Oh, what is this? Entropy research tree. Oh, it's over there. Okay. I remembered the key was Y, but yes, I guess it's listed there. So I don't have any. But if I wanted to, I could go unlock Echo Flare. I don't really have anything I need to automate right now, or anything that I need blueprints of. But I finally have access to them. I just was puzzled because, like, where is Echo Tracer? Is it even a thing anymore? Do the spell nodes look different? I don't think it's in here. Yeah, I don't know. It might just not exist. Okay, whatever. Research proceeds apace. Maybe I will bind Echo Tracer to, how do I... Or bind biorhythm. Just put it on 9, I guess, even though that overwrites something I wanted. It's not that important to have it available, I guess. Elemental binders. Okay, so we were finally going to make pedestals, but I kept getting sidetracked by various things. Because pedestals wanted salt and prisms? Yes. So I have prisms, or could have prisms, here. But they... Interesting. I would have thought it would take in a balanced way. But it seems like the arm that feeds into the chest is always winning the race. Not a big deal. The chest will fill up eventually. But maybe something to learn about. So... Right, and there's my salt. So if I build... It's grindstones, right? Yes. A handful of grindstones. I can put a pedestal maker here. Oh, I guess I could do this. That would be kind of clever. Gotta... Oh, why am I putting it there, you weirdo? Gotta make use of those fancy grippers where you can, eh? Have one gripper take both inputs in. Guess it doesn't matter. Do this, I guess. So that's pedestals going, and then grippers need additionally ether, correct? Nope, they need more salt. Are you high? No, wait. These are pedestals. What I mean is grippers, and they require pedestals plus ether. Yes. Okay, so the ether is here. Oops. So if I take a Tinker's Table, which I don't own any of at this moment, I think. Yep, they're right here. I do own them. They got covered up by this biorhythm binding. Put it here. Seems fine. That is what I wanted. Would you, like, fill up already? We're making them very slowly, so it's understandable, and we're, like, dumping them all into research. It's understandable, but that it isn't fill. My production is so low quality. I have so little throughput. I just want this to start happening, you know? I do still want this chest here, because I want to be able to move a bunch of prisms into the research area. For example, we just ran out of prisms again. But I want this to start happening so I can get a bunch of grippers. I guess let's just pretend it's working. And I need elemental air, which at the moment seems like it's coming from a chest. Although, I mean, the air producer is right here. So if I just make a Zephyr Mill here. What's a Nimbus Sanctum? Oh, it's like the advanced air buildings. Yeah, production structure. So this, I love how all the buildings have ridiculous shapes and they're their own little tiny routing puzzle. I guess I want it like this. There. So now, as long as my feeble production of all these elements, not just elements in the sense of life, air, and water and so on, but just like elements as in the things that make up the stuff I need to build, as long as all of these are being made at an okay pace, I'm automating grippers at last. Oh, you died, huh? I guess I need this here. Okay, fine. Let's go check on the life motes. I assume they're dead? Yep. Kind of annoying. Would be nice if there were some way to provide power autonomously. The joke being that, of course, there is. I'm just not there yet. I'm choosing this misery for myself. Researching sand. I remember sand being a very expensive intermediate ingredient. It's water's intermediate ingredient. Okay, yes, grippers. I mean, you don't need that many grippers. I just made a big pile of them at the beginning of the game, and I haven't even run out. But it's nice that that's all automated now. Let's not completely empty that out because I need to do more water research. Oh, there's actually some in there. So, what is this doing anything? Why are you here? Oh, it's because I thought I was going to put this on the right, but then I put it on the left. Okay, so that's sand done. We're going to get into water adept next. And then we can either, you know, start heading deeper into elements past the adept level stuff, or start adding in picking up this sort of convenience stuff that's before here. Like, for example, add in Aerosil to get these guys, or add in Whirling Grippers to get this stuff. I've never been like a path, like I never built concrete or whatever it is in Factorio. I never build, what are they called in this game? The pathways that you get before. Swiftstone, yes. I'm very much like, yeah, just walk around in the dirt, you'll be fine. It's not as fast, but that's life. I assume that what this is 6 different colors of concrete if you want to like color code your factory or whatever. I'm just not organized enough for that. Setting things up to have a specific walking path, you know, I can look at other people's builds and be like, wow, you really designed that with quality of your own life in mind. But I don't do that. So all that stuff is meaningless to me. But I have Whirling Grippers automated, right? So if I just funneled them into the research area, we could get some improved reach. I don't feel like I've really been hurting for reach, but I could do that. What's going on here? All the ether is being slurped up before any of it gets over there, so I should probably make some more ether. I don't need this chest anymore. I'm not using it for anything. Inventory is full. Okay, so let's make a little bit... I mean, I don't know. At some point I should start getting serious about all this stuff. But I'm not there yet. We're going to keep making joke factories. Manually... not manually. Direct insertion for the grindstones, I guess. That works fine. made a mess, of course. But whatever, it's fine. Get a little bit more ether production, twice as much, still not nearly as much as a growing factory needs. But, and every improvement is an improvement. Oh, whoops, I actually needed that because I haven't yet automated... No, I don't need that. Wait. Yes, that's... What is this? Huh? What are you doing? Salt comes in. I guess this is feeding from what used to be a salt chest? Where's my output? Was that just... Why am I not making... Okay, something is wrong. The output is supposed to be coming from here, but it's not. Actually, I guess what I want is something like this. I think I must have somehow turned this gripper around, because it looks like it was pointing at nothing. I'm not sure when I did that. We're back to having a bucket of air and feeding these grippers as well. And we have twice as much ether, so some of it is actually making it over to the water binding area. Why do I have so much ether? And now this is back to not putting anything into the gripper production area because the box is being emptied by the thing making saltways. All of which is fine because I never really needed a lot of these grippers. At least not until I'm ready to start automating stuff that depends, or researching stuff that depends on it as an input, right? Like whipping grippers would be nice to have. But then I need air prisms, which I mean... I feel like once I want to start making prisms, I really should set up a bit more of an automated approach. I guess, like, what the next thing to do is automate routes so I can start powering my factories, right? Maybe. And doing life research, I guess. Yeah, I guess Water Adept is the only thing left to research that uses the ingredients we have. And this is the one pedestal with no access to water, so it makes sense that it's idle. That's fine. So like here's some life stuff. It's not really enough for the humongous number of roots you end up needing. Just like the amount of water I have isn't really enough for the humongous amount of streamways you end up needing. But I guess it's sufficing for now, so maybe that's not true. Yeah, all these slabs, all these saltways in my inventory. Kind of weird that shift click and right click both just build 5. I feel like in Factorio, right click was 5 and shift click was as many as possible, and that was kind of a nice distinction to have. So we could take this elemental life, right? And route it over to somewhere where we have access to saltways. And then turn that into roots. Right? I guess the idea would be bring it over here, where we're already making the saltways. And then this area could make the two things that depend on saltways, streamways and roots. I guess that makes sense. Hey, entropy has encroached on this. This rift is still growing? Kind of a surprise. It's fine, because I'm not in a hurry to finish researching this. So as long as it doesn't reach any further, it's not going to do anything. But I mean, where's the water research for bastions? I have no idea where they are. Or what they look like. Are you a bastion? You're an oracle. Remotely view any revealed location on your map. Okay, I'm not sure what the point of that is. Check what's wrong at a substation without going over there, I guess. Gotta be in here somewhere. My downpour bastions, man. There it is. Yeah, so it's just water prisms and elemental water. So that would be the way to, like, deal with entropy in a more sustainable fashion. And it would be nice to get there. But I think we need to scale things up before I can start just dumping elemental water into machines that remove entropy for no particular reason. So, I mean, I think that means roots are what I want next. Well, the life power network in general is what I want next. I mean, I suppose I do have access to the air power stuff, right? I started on water. I have access to 2 different sets of power. But that's like... It sucks is the problem with it, mainly? I hate these stupid air power stuff. Wind turbines and gust funnels, yeah. How far do you have to get before this produces any amount of reasonable power? Reserve slots for vortex, so it's kind of a... I'm not sure why you need this. If you have planar reliquaries. Maybe it's so you don't have to set those up? Gale generator, yeah, but... Oh, tunneling gust double the range, that's kind of nice. Gathering storm increases the power output. Oh, increases movement speed by 0% while in a wind power corridor. That sounds really cool. I could go the same speed I'm currently going? Wow. Okay, I mean, somewhere in here is like the research. There's some, I'm sure of it. Somewhere in here, there's something that makes air generator. I think it must be Gale generator. Oh, it's a new... Okay, so Gale generator has a passive that increases open air values, but also it has a Gale generator, which I believe is the kind of quadratic thing for air power, but it's so far away. And air power is, I don't know. Maybe if you're used to using it, it's nice, but I don't know. I find roots kind of fun. Fire is obviously the best at distributing power. It's so easy. But life is is the best at producing it and kind of fun to route, whereas I found air annoying to route. I'm sure it's powerful, but I'm just like not good at it. So I think, you know, getting over here, I think, is my next goal, which means automating life stuff. And to do that, like, I guess the question is, Am I really going to try to set up roots? Like, roots don't do anything unless they have a power source. And I don't want to bother setting up, like, a whole leaf harvesting... Well, I guess if I'm automating mana leaves, then I'm kind of automating leaves on the way, and... How bad would it be to set up a power distribution network based on those leaves that I could sort of forget about shortly thereafter? I don't know. Why bother? So the thing is, like, life prisms. Okay, let's look at a life prism requires 3 life unless they changed it. Let's check. It's 3 life and 3 salt prisms, so quite expensive. And then leaves are a bunch more life, plus like some other stuff. 3 more life and some ether. So raw ingredients, it probably lists them here, right? Yeah. Total raw for a single life prism is like 9 stuff total. And for a leaf, it's... Oh, I see. There is no total raw because these are raw. It's 8. So, like... 17 stuff to make 1 pair of life prism and leaf. But I guess we also need a salt prism, right? So it's like 19 total things. And our product, like, that's more than the whole factory makes right now. Per second. So, like, I can't even make 1 life prism per second if all of my things happen to be convertible at a 1-to-1 rate, which they're not. So if I want to start on Adept research, I really need to increase my throughput. I think. And I'm not sure what the recipe for leaves is, mana leaves is, but I mean, like, it's gonna require leaves and elemental life and maybe something else, right? Leaves and roots, maybe? I don't know. It's just a ton of stuff. Oh my gosh, your little guy died? So I think I need, like, a more organized / optimized I just picked up a bunch of garbage I don't want, huh? Here, you can have all this water. And I'll take all the prisms. A more organized, higher throughput, like, just producing a lot of elemental life, if nothing else, right? If I want to go research life. So what would that entail? It would entail, you know, placing a bunch of collectors up there, no problem. Taking this outpost here and turning it into just salt, basically, I think. Stopping shipping the water down here. I don't know, maybe there's a better place to do this? It has life near water? This is a nice little triangle, actually. 2 water near each other. Although, this one's a lie, right? It's, like, in the water. I don't think it's making any motes. Water, 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 water. What a useless... I mean, you know, we could produce a large amount of water from that. I bet there's not even much life here either, right? Like half the patch is on land. But this one that claims to make water, I mean, it's like there, right? There isn't actually anything. So there's some air right next to some water, which is convenient if what we want is to make elemental air or elemental water, but doesn't help with elemental life. There's some air. Yeah. Kind of not great. Oh, you can scroll the map without moving. Okay. Great. That I press MM, does it go back? It does, okay. It centers on me. Alright. So, but there's not much of anything here, I think. Because it's so close to the coast. So there's a ton of life here. But the nearest convenient water is, I mean, nowhere. Oh. There's a life portal. Nice. So here's a bunch of life. I don't really want to tear down this setup because making streamways is useful. I guess this is not a terrible pairing. If I just turn this into a water moat producing outpost, or even just a salt outpost. Where are brineries? Are they easy to get to? Okay. 300 water prisms and 300 sand is a lot. But it would be a real nice improvement, wouldn't it? Maybe I should do that. Oh my god, I'm lost. East. What is this? Life? Right. I guess another point to consider is this. No. This. I mean, yes, that is interesting, but not at the moment. This is all stuff I didn't ever get to use because I never visited water in my last playthrough, and my time on air was spent in self-imposed misery instead of in playing the game. So we could go here if we automated air and water prisms, right? Give you the air-water hybrid techs. What are those? These are enchanted grippers, which I assume are filter grippers. I know those exist, and they're in water air. This must be them. Streamline? Logistic structures don't block open air tiles. Okay, so it just improves your air power network. This looks like what, filter deltas or something? Yeah, nice. Torrential streamways. So this is the thing I was looking for. I don't think it's necessarily like what we actually should go for next, but it's kind of a funny idea. They're streamways that I believe have an even higher capacity, like throughput, than streamways do. And they can be built over chasms, which on the water plane present as like lakes. So you could build these over lakes, which I was thinking of here because like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to just move this life over here or over to this water, or just go over this bridge or whatever? But I mean, going around is not that big a deal. Okay, so what else is available? Cloud Spring Fountain. So this, I mean, this looks like logistics bots to me. I don't totally know what it does. But it looks like it's saying any items near one of these that want to be in a building near one of these just get moved there automatically? Seems crazy. And then there's the enduring speed research. Anything cool in water life that we would want? I mean, yeah, verdant streams are all, but like, none of this is going to do anything until we get actual power automation, right? Why haven't we finished? Oh, I'm stuck on the wrong side of everything. Why haven't we finished the last research here? We must have run out of something. Presumably salt prisms. No, I just put in a bunch of salt prisms. It must be water. Okay, time to fill this up again. How embarrassing. I mean, I guess I didn't really have to because none of this has been taken since it ran out. The streamway is still full, so clearly no one's using this stuff. This ran dry as well. What have we run out of? It must be water. Where's the chest for that? Oh, it's here. It's hidden. I mean, not that it'll really help, but... Get out of here. Give me a minute to do my research, please. And in the meantime, I guess I'm collecting some entropy. Is there anything on the entropy track I should be looking to? Echo Flare is interesting. Seismic flare doesn't really matter because the portals are all placed close enough together these days that you can just see them. The refractory to translate motes is like pretty cool. Oh no, this, right. This makes salt prisms. If you have 3 different types of motes. Is this actually efficient? Yeah, it takes 9 inputs and produces 6 prisms, where normally 6 prisms would require 12 inputs. Is there some way to transform... Wait. Can I build these? So like in... Did I already research that stuff? You would assume so, right? Where is it? Artifice? I don't see it anywhere. What am I missing? How do I do... Oh, no, I don't have this. It's several steps south of me. Okay. So this is for making entropy buildings. I have to go even further down here to get this thing that turns opposing motes into something. Isn't there... Salus Mundus? I see. Produce motes at random, sure. What? So this is a way to turn binaries and pyrolyzers into each other, but also a way to do what binaries and pyrolyzers do? Yeah, I don't really understand how all this stuff works yet. There's some, like, building that lets you turn one input into another. I don't know. I thought there was something in here that let you turn motes into motes of a different type, but it seems not. So without leaving the plane, we can't get access to the motes we would need to feed this. Right, we could have... like water or air or life, but each of them needs to be paired with something from the other side. Right, water needs to be paired with earth, which we can't get access to without leaving. Okay, the research is finally done. Not that it's really doing much. I've been daydreaming so long, all my mana flares have fallen apart. That doesn't seem right. You need an entire flare if it's one gripper. Something feels wrong about that. Okay. So, I don't know. I mean, all that said, I still think what I need to do next is scale up my production of motes and, well, of elementals. And I think I want to start with life. How many collectors do I have? I wish I could find them in my inventory. I guess they're here. I have one. Let's just make all of them. And then what do I need? More salt. Okay, here's a big box of it that I stopped using. Make a few more of these, why not? Gonna need a ton of binders, just empty that. I will need more grindstones also, I suppose. For which I need more ether. And I guess, really, I need more prisms. Got them. Oh, the ether! there is no backlog of ether. I've been spending it all somehow. Making grippers, I guess, mostly. Inventory's full. It can't give me this stuff. Throw away. Don't need Nimbus Sanctum for a long time. Don't need these slabs. Saltways. And I assume we're kind of far away from the advanced collectors. Oh, they're right here. We're not that far. Life prisms and mana roots. I mean, that'd be 900 elemental life if I... No, 600 if I were to make this by hand. That's 2 chests full. But then another 200 elemental life is 8 plus the mana roots. I mean, it's a lot. Something like 1,000 elemental life I would have to pick up when my chests can only hold 300. Be a bit of a nuisance. It would just take forever to make. Yeah, and now I'm kind of at the point where I just need to throw all this away. I'm perfectly happy doing that. Let's just at least throw away the altars to indicate my commitment. But I don't necessarily want to pick up the chests because they're holding a bunch of garbage I don't want in my inventory. Speaking of. God. Inventory management is such a pain. I don't need wave rights or arboretums. They're expensive, but when I want one, I'll just build it. Why am I even making space to hold this in my inventory? I don't want it. These 3 chests will be a monument to what I once built, but no longer have. Yeah, it's like time to transition into the kind of away from the frantic early game of just like building anything is an improvement into the still fairly early game of like, okay, let's buckle down and build not enough mana. Oh, because I'm handcrafting all this junk. Let's buckle down and scale up production of stuff. And just like figuring out where to put anything is kind of a nuisance, you know? But like, for example, what does it take to get an entire streamway full of motes of life? If I wanted, like, I don't know, that's probably more life than you need. Oh, it tells me, what's the throughput of these? 16 per second, and that's 8 per lane. Not 16 per lane, I believe. So, like, these simple collectors can make 1 every 4 seconds. You would need 64 of these collectors to fill a streamway, which is crazy. So don't even think about filling a streamway. Just, like, make a reasonably large amount. Let's say I wanted 1 life prism per second. You know, what does that require? And, I mean, more would be nice. My inventory is full. Get out of here. I don't need simple grippers. I have a guy who makes the only grippers I can actually use for me, so I'm not using the intermediate ones. But one life prism a second, I mean, it's enough to do this research at a kind of okay pace. And that would require 3 life per second. But then, you know, you need at least an elemental life as well for all the recipes, for all the research requirements, right? They need life prisms and elemental life. Plus you're going to need something else, like a bunch of leaves, which are another 3 life per second. So we're looking at like 7 life per second. And we're going to need at least some of it to be turned into ether. Maybe we can get that out of air, because I don't really need much of any of the air buildings. Or air anything. That's a good question. What do I need a lot of in air besides grippers? Anything? If I wanted to use it for power, then yes. But if I don't, like, not really, right? So maybe air should be my ether source most of the time. Okay. So let's say we don't use any of the life as ether. Then we're looking at, like, how much did I say it was for? It was another 3 for a leaf. Oh, it's 1.5 because it's 2 leaves for 3. So 1.5 plus 4. We're looking at like 5, 6. So something like 6 life per second would give you 1 per second of the research of Adept life stuff. Right? And that would be 24 life collectors? Or 24 normal collectors. Once we get the life collectors, we can do better. Because they collect twice as quickly. Although they have a more awkward shape. So, but like, I mean, you know, you can get a decent number of these guys. Can I, like, what's a good way to lay this out? Like that, maybe? This is what, 12, 16? It's not crazy hard to squeeze in 4 more, right? Well, it's not easy. Like, these aren't the best layouts or anything, but they'll do. If I want a large amount of life, this is playable. It is okay. Although it doesn't lane balance very well. I think I want to... Hello? Do that? No, that's pretty bad too. Yeah, this is not set up very well to balance nicely. I guess you can always just build a balancer with to take, as long as this is not over. So these are, each lane is 8 per second, right? Yeah. So, I mean, this is fine, because the total amount of stuff I'm making here is less than can fill 1 lane. So even if it's not balanced well at all, which it isn't, it's fine. So this is a large-ish amount of life. Oh, there's a new rift. I think it's new. It wasn't there a second ago. And it's just starting to spread, so that confirms my belief. So if we then also pipe in a bunch of water ground up into salt, we can start mass producing life, elemental life. Oh, you tricked me! It's all in the water. Okay, here, there might be some up here. Yes, fine. Make some more collectors, though, actually. There's new music soundtracks, by the way, for... I think there's like 4 or 6 different songs for each plane. I think there were like a couple per plane or something before, but there's definitely new ones that I hadn't heard before. Partly because I had never been on water, but I think also because there are some new ones. Okay, so this, I mean, can at least be built in a slightly less haphazard fashion because I'm not adding on to something that was ad hoc to begin with. Yeah, I mean, another one here is fine. It's a little bit off the patch, but it's not totally dry. So what is this? 10, 15, 19? That's a lot. I want to make sure these merge balanced, even though it doesn't really matter. I guess like that. Now we have... Now that's balanced. Okay. And someday we'll have roots to make this all less annoying. Probably, though, That day will not come until I need to replace these stupid mana flares several times over. Okay, so if we have, I said 19, so call it 20. That would be 10 grindstones. I don't even have that many. One thing I've been wanting to do with this playthrough also is try to be less linear. Which I mean in a very literal sense, like, don't put things in straight lines the way you would in Factorio. The sort of hex-based nature of things fights it, and it is simple to make it tileable that way, but I've seen some very pretty hexagonal things, and it would be kind of nice to do that, like, wouldn't it? I don't know, like... You know, what would that look like if I had... How do I have 8 of these? Didn't I just say... I guess that... Yeah, that's right. That is all I had amount of stuff for. Needs more ether, which I can't easily get here. Okay. But, like... I don't know. Okay, that's a rift. It looks kind of big, doesn't it? I guess I should probably just, for the moment, just route some elemental water. Because I'll probably want a lot of that someday, right? I'm going to need to make water prisms too. For the moment, I only want it for the salt. And so I was imagining, okay, I'll just, like, right at the source, turn this into salt and then have a big line of salt, but I may as well ship the water motes. If for nothing else, because it's actually... Once we have access to brinaries, we can make more than one salt per mote of water, and so it's actually more compact to ship it this way. But also it means, like, later, when I start to build a water factory for water research, maybe I can just fork off of this instead of having to say, oh, well, I shipped salt down here, I need to go get water from somewhere else. So, okay, let's maybe put a delta in here. And this will head over to the life zone. So, I don't know. The thing is, I just said that I want to do kind of hexagonal things, but I don't know how. My brain doesn't work that way. Like, you know, city blocks and stuff is something Factorio players, at least the ones who do YouTube videos, talk about. Oh my god, it's been an hour and a half. I feel like I just started. Okay, I guess I'm going to take a break for now. I didn't do anything in today's episode. That's factory games for you, at least when I play them. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.